almost every media outlet's reporting that Mueller's not going to recommend any further indictments, and this is going to be damning for the entire Russia collusion narrative. But I want to focus on one area specifically, and that is Carter Page. For just a brief rundown, here's what happened with Carter Page. He was an associate of Trump. He was involved in his campaign shortly. The FBI decided they wanted to spy on him and have a wiretap. To do so, the predominant evidence they used was from opposition research paid for by Hillary Clinton that used a former British spy named Christopher Steele to go and talk to Kremlin agents and other things and get information that claimed that Christopher Steele wasn't just being duped and unknowingly working with Russians, but he was actually conspiring with Russians, was basically a spy for Russia, and was trying to help sabotage the United States by helping Trump do nefarious things to win the election. He was supposedly going to be offered a bunch of money and oil shares from Russia in efforts to do this. To be able to spy on Page because he was an American citizen, they couldn't just go to the local court and be able to get wiretaps and things like that. They had to go to a FISA court. The FISA court specializes in allowing warrants and surveillance for American citizens and to basically override their Bill of Rights protections because they're deemed to be a danger to the security of the United States, whether it be through terrorism or through spying through a foreign entity. And so the FBI, again, they used this FISA warrant. They didn't just claim that Carter Page was an unwitting dupe. They said he was actively working as a Russian spy. Now, if we now know that Mueller, if the reports are true, and granted, we should take this with a grain of salt because we should want to see the Mueller report ourselves. But I think that it would have, all these reports, it seems pretty likely that if Page was about to be charged as a Russian spy, that something like that would have been released. But if it's true that there are no more indictments coming, then that proves what all of us said from the get-go, that it was outrageous that the FBI used paid opposition research from Hillary Clinton to be able to spy on people connected to Trump's campaign. And what we were told when we said that, I mean, think of the implications of that. Obama's intel agencies and his ally, the person he once elected, Hillary Clinton, pays for dirt on Trump. Obama's intel agencies then used that dirt on Trump that was paid for by Hillary Clinton to spy on people connected to Trump and start investigations into them. They never go to Trump. They don't say, Trump, we think Carter Page might be a Russian spy. They don't say anything like that. Instead, they used, if they were really concerned about stopping Russian influence, isn't that the first thing they would have done? Instead, they used the opportunity to try to go after Trump, which is what they wanted in the first place. All these people under Obama, that's what they wanted. The intel agencies didn't like Trump. They were working for Obama. They're working as part of the establishment, as part of the deep state of what people call it. And they wanted Hillary Clinton. And so who would have thought the agencies under Obama, who's allied with Hillary Clinton, would use evidence paid for by Hillary Clinton to spy on her opponent, Donald Trump? And I and many others said, this is incredible. I said that from the get-go, I was writing in 2016, early 2017, saying, if it's true that this paid opposition research was used to spy on people connected to Trump's campaign, then it was the biggest political scandal in the history of our country. Remember, Watergate was deemed a huge deal because you had a couple people sent by Nixon or Nixon's team to go and spy and try to get information about his opponent. We're talking about Obama, instead of just a couple bumblers in a hotel, weaponizing the entire intel agency, the most powerful intel agency and investigative agency in the history of the world, to go after his political opponent in Donald Trump. And I said things like, well, if this is the new precedent, it's going to be very scary. What I was told repeatedly was, wait. You'll see. The Mueller investigation will show that Carter Page is, in fact, a spy. Or he did do a lot of shady things, and he is going to be charged with a crime. So it wasn't just this. It wasn't just that it was unverified material paid for by Hillary Clinton. They knew something was going on. And so I said, okay, I'm critical of that, but let's wait and see. Now, if that's the case, that it turns out that actually, despite 3 years of investigation between the FBI and the special counselor Mueller, nearly unlimited resources, the ability to subpoena anyone they wanted, to leave no stone unturned, to raid offices in the middle of the night, despite all of that, they still can't get Carter Page for any crime, let alone the original claim of the FBI that they thought he was a spy for Russia. They haven't found any evidence of that. And so this is what this means now, if we think about it on whole. The people that are saying, well, hey, it was fine. It was still fine for them to use that opposition research, because this is what people are saying now. Hey, they had to be sure. You know, that was a pretty serious accusation. Never mind that it was paid for by Hillary Clinton's team. But it's a pretty serious accusation. So, yeah, we needed to do all this spying. We needed the 3 years of investigation. We needed all this stuff because we had to make sure. And so, now that we are seeing, if we're to take these reports true, that Carter Page isn't going to be indicted. This is now the precedent that this entire situation is set up. Donald Trump may today say, okay, who are all the people running for Democratic president? Then take some money and pay anyone, we'll send a foreign agent, money to dig up dirt on them. That foreign agent could come up with any rumors about golden showers and peeing on beds and all 20 of these candidates are Democrats. All of them, they have nefarious connections to Iran or Russia or China or any other country that might be Syria, any country that might have animus towards us. And that's it. That's all Trump has to do. Pay for a rumor. The rumor doesn't have to be verified. It could be known that he paid for the rumor. That doesn't matter either. But it's a serious allegation, right? It's serious. The pee story, right? That was serious. Trump may have paid hookers to pee on a bed that Obama once said. That was a serious situation. Carter Page may have been a Russian spy. That was a serious situation. So it warranted the wiretaps. It warranted the spying. It warranted allowing Obama administration to spy and then to leak to the press all this information to hurt Trump, and then to go to our allies all across the world and saying, hey, Trump might be working with Vladimir Putin, or Trump's campaign people might be working with Putin, and to unmask people and to share the information as far as wide as possible, and to have your media mouthpiece out there smearing for 2 years, and to have investigations and raiding of lawyers. All of that was necessary because the allegation was so important. It was the implications of the allegation was so huge. So, let's just take one example. Let's say Cory Booker's the nominee for Democrats. Trump pays, Trump or his allies pay a former British spy or whatever, a former French spy, whatever, doesn't matter. Anyone that's allied with Trump that's willing to take the money from them says, hey, we'd like dirt on Cory Booker. And that guy comes back and says, yeah, I got dirt on Booker. He likes getting peed on in China. And yeah, some people connected to him were basically offered a bunch of Chinese money and Chinese stocks if they worked as a spy. So there you go. Now Trump, rightfully so, the precedent's been set. We don't have to verify that information. Just that accusation's enough to then go to the FISA court and say, okay, we would like to spy on people connected to Cory Booker's campaign. And then start multiple years investigations into him, release any damaging information you find to the press, unmask people connected to Booker, etc. That is literally the precedent that's been set. Now, we've known this. We've known this for years. I've been talking about how insane this is. And I've said, if Trump would do 1/10 of that, if Trump would try to weaponize the intel agencies based on innuendo that his political allies, opposition research his political allies paid for that was unsubstantiated, there would be riots in the street. People would be calling Trump a dictator. They would be saying this is the most corrupt thing ever. And they'd be right. It would be corrupt. It would be terrible. Weaponizing the intel agency. But they cheered for Obama doing that. And what I was told the whole time was, well, but wait. The difference is that the Mueller investigation will show that there's something up with Carter Page. And now that it's ended, right? This is what I'm saying. Well, that's what investigations are. If they knew that Page was a spy, then there wouldn't have been a need for investigation. They just thought he might be, so that's why we needed the investigation. Okay, that's the precedent then. All we need is a rumor, and any president may then, based on that rumor, even if their allies paid for that rumor, weaponize their intel agencies and investigative agencies to spy on their political opponents. That's the world the Democrats and all these people that have cheered for this investigation have set up. So, again, we'll have to wait and see exactly what the Mueller report says and what, if there are any further indictments. But if not, then everything I've said in this video is true. But we should check for ourselves, obviously. That's something we should do. This should scare every single person, regardless if you're a Democrat, Republican, a Trump hater, a Trump liker, etc. It should scare every single person. I've been saying this for multiple years. I've bided my time, though. I said, let's see. Maybe Mueller would have came out and said, it turns out that Carter Page was a Russian spy. But it looks like that's not the case. And it looks like I was right from the get-go when I first said, more than 2 years ago, that this might be the biggest political scandal in the history of the country. And now we see. The very people that cheered for this, would scream the loudest, would be rioting in the street if Trump tries to use the exact same tactics that were used against him, against his Democratic political opponent. And notice that very few people in the mainstream media, where's CNN? Where's the New York Times? Where's the Washington Post? Oh, they don't care. And I'll be doing another video that just talks about how shady the media was and things like that. So, yeah, really damaging story. It damages the entire idea of Russia collusion. Because if there's no further indictments, this is the other thing that people are saying. Well, maybe there's no further indictments, but Mueller would have recommended to indict Trump, but he can't because he's a sitting president. Okay, but if no one else was indicted, who did Trump collude with? You can't have collusion with one person. So surely there would have been a second person Mueller would have indicted, whether it be a Russian or something that was colluding with Trump, if he would have charged Trump with collusion. So the whole narrative's falling apart. But yeah, I really wanted to say this bit on Carter Page and how now we've set the precedent for presidents to be able to pay for opposition rumors and then use those rumors to use the intel agencies to spy on their opponents. So, hey, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Recommend me to some other people, and I'll be putting some more material out shortly. So, thanks a lot and have a good one.